Welcome back to my channel, Home with Rebecca Jane. I am so excited to bring you this video today. It is part of a collaboration with 4 other wonderful DIYers right here on YouTube as part of a spring and Easter tier tray collaboration. I am so excited to see what these ladies have done with these tier tray kits and all of the creativity they are going to bring you. So I got really lucky and I found these 3 adorable bunnies at the Dollar Tree, and I just all of a sudden my inspiration came to my mind. So my colors for my tier tray kit are going to be based off of these 3. I am going with the blue, the pink, and the purple because I love a lot of color in my spring decor. My home definitely has a lot of color whether I'm decorating for spring or Easter. So the first thing we're going to do is decorate this spring is in the air sign. Okay, not really decorate. We're going to paint this sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove everything that is going to be on the top. I'm going to remove that off, and I'm going to use this blue color called Lost Lagoon. It did end up being a little bit darker than what I was going for, but at the end, it all worked out. It looked really good. So if you do want to go for a lighter blue, you might want to use a lighter color or add some white to this. And then I'm just going to paint the front, the sides, and the back and give this a full coat. The nice thing about my signs is I do have the wording scored into it. So when we go to put the wording on later, we're going to be able to keep it exactly in place where we want. And then I painted the stem to the little mushroom in my toasted marshmallow, my apple barrel paint. And then I painted the top of it with my apple barrel candy pink paint. And I'm going to try to stick with my main colors throughout this whole video to the pink, the purple, and the blue. I would like each piece to have those 3 main colors. So once the blue is dry, I am want to have this kind of to look like confetti. So I just took a stiff bristle brush. You do want something that's a little bit stiff because it'll flicker harder. And I'm just taking the pink and the purple color and I'm just kind of splattering some paint to give it a little bit of a confetti look on this sign. I just thought that would really help it pop a little bit more. Now we are going to paint the wording. And I'm going to take this painter's tape and I'm going to show you a real easy way to keep all your wording in place while you're painting it versus having to pick up each individual little piece it'll make you really messy, even though I still have paint all over my hands. That never fails. But this will definitely keep you much more clean and a lot easier than holding each individual piece and then you get a fingerprint on it. So this is just a lot easier way to paint small pieces. So I do want a little bit of an ombre effect on my wording. So I'm starting by taking my purple and painting the bottom of the letters. I'm using Concord Grape for the purple, all of these items. And then before it has a chance to dry too much, I am just going with my Waverly White and I'm doing the top of it. Once I have that on, then I take my purple paintbrush again and I kind of blend in just the middle area. And that gives it looks like it's going from darker to lighter on the purple and then into the white. So it gives it more of the ombre look. And then I do go and I make sure that the tip of the white and the tip very bottom of the purple are a little bit darker so that way they start dark and then they slowly fade as they go into each other. And then I just have a couple other spring colors just to throw in throughout that you'll see me use for the greenery. I am using Cabana Stripe. And then I am going to use a green paint pen to just kind of give it a little bit of a two-tone effect. And then I'm going to use a couple different colors on my flowers. I'm using one called Candid Coral. And then you'll also see me using the same pinks and purples and then a bright yellow. So here's the paint pen I am going to use to add some dimension to my green leaves. And when I did paint with the green paint, I actually used the white paintbrush that I had just used for the lettering. So it even gave it a two-tone look with the green and the white. And I'm just going to use my finger. I was all out of my sponges. So if you have a sponge, any area where you see me blending things with my fingers, you could actually use a sponge. I just didn't have any. I need to pick up some more. So I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension here. And I will make sure I share links with all the paint pens that I use down in the description box below. I fell in love with these Posca pens. Absolutely love them. They are a little bit expensive. Wait for them to come on sale. I got them on a very good price on Black Friday, but they are amazing. And I will share the other ones that I use as well because they are much more affordable. And I just added some little lines just to add a little bit more, and then did the inside of the flowers in with the brown paint pen. Now I am just going to glue everything in place. I am going to use my Gorilla Glue and glue the back of the wording and put it exactly where you see the words scored on the back piece. So it makes it real easy to put in place. I do like to hold it up just to make sure I am truly getting it over the line, so that way I can't see the lines once I have it glued on. Now I normally like to use a quicker super glue. I'm using the Gorilla because it does not dry right away. It gives me a little bit of time to maneuver things before it takes hold. So it's a really good one to use if you think you may need time to move something around. It is not an instant dry. Then I did want, under the top of this mushroom, I did want it to be white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in place here exactly where it's going to be. And then I'm going to take a white paint pen just to put a couple dots in where I know I need to go up, but I don't want to go any further because I don't want to accidentally paint the outer part of the sign where you're going to see. And I'm just going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I'm just going to paint the little area that I marked off. So that way underneath this, you will see white through all the little holes. You probably could do this first. I didn't even think about it until afterwards. And I was like, oh, hey, wait, I want to have this look different. So once it is dry, then I am just going to take everything and I am going to glue it in place. And everything is cut so that it lines up perfectly and is easy to glue down and know exactly where it needs to go. Next, we have this adorable little house. I love this so much. And since with the first sign, we went with the main color from the blue, this one, our main color is going to go, we're going to go with the pink. But the first thing I need to do is I need to paint the back of this a solid color. And I am also using the toasted marshmallow here. And I'm just going to give this a good couple coats of paint so that way you can't see through it. Since it is acrylic paint, you do tend to have to give it a couple coats. Once I am done painting that, I'm going to set it aside so it has some time to dry, and we are going to get started painting over here. Now, I'm going to just show you where the sign was a little bit darker than what I had initially expected if I'm comparing it to this blue. So it's a little bit darker. So I am going to take the blue paint this time and I'm going to add some of my white paint to it to make this a little bit lighter. And we are going to paint the hat in this color here. And I'm just going to paint the front and sides because we're not going to need to worry about the back on this. And then I will go right into painting the bottom part. I don't know if you would call it the pants or where the beard is going to hit, the clothing to the gnome. And I'm going to paint that in the same darker color that was the sign. So that way there's still a little bit of a difference between the two. Then I will just be taking my white paint and painting the beards. I'm not going to worry too much about any blending or anything of that nature. Since there's going to be little flowers that they're holding, you're not going to see much of the beards on this. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. And I just made them a solid white. Now this one, again, I'm trying to match with this initial sign. So I am giving the little hat here the same splatter effect, the same graffiti, whatever you want to call it, effect that you saw on the sign. And then I would recommend attaching the pants, the lower part, to the beard when you go to glue them in place. It just makes sure you have them lined up properly versus gluing the beard on or the bottom half on, and then you realize they weren't lined up properly. So I put them together and then I glue them on together. Then I just add the nose, and then I'm going to add the flower and the little hands. Now we are going to move on and start painting the top part to our little house in pink. And then remember how I'm having a sign coordinate with each one. So this one is going to be in pink. It will coordinate with the little mushroom house. So they will both be in pink. And then I did the bottom in pink, and I did the beard again in white, and we are just going to glue everything in place. Now on this little one that looks like it's sitting, I do recommend making sure you have all the pieces together before you start any gluing, and then like you just seen me do, glue the flower, then the feet, then the hands. That way you know everything's glued the way it needs to be for the sitting one, because it will be going on a swing and you want to make sure it'll go flat on the swing. So I decided to give a little bit more of a design to the pink, and we are going to take my purple paint pen and we are going to add little purple polka dots all over the top to the house and the top hat. Next, we are going to take a brown paint and we are going to paint everything we have that needs to be painted brown. So we have the little door to the house that is going to be painted brown, the window. We have this little ladder that also goes to this little set. And then we have a couple little base pieces, the base piece to the house and to the swing. We are just going to go ahead, anything that needs painted brown, we're going to go ahead and paint all of that now right at the same time. I did decide on the door to take my black paint pen and paint the little doorknob, and then I'm going to use the black and the white, and I'm just going to make little marks and then kind of rub them in to make it look a little bit like wear and tear, a little bit of distressing on the front door. You can do that to the window. The window is a little small to do that. And you could also do it. It would look really good on the ladder. I didn't, but you are more than welcome to do it. I just wanted the door to have a little bit more of that effect. Next, we are going to get the flowers painted that are going to go on the little banner, and I am using bright well yellow. That's literally the name of the apple barrel paint, bright yellow. And originally I was going to do each flower a different color, but as I got to looking at all the pieces I had already painted, I realized I had so much color. And I didn't really have a lot of yellow, and I do like yellow at spring, so I decided just to go with them all yellow, and I'm really glad I did now that it's all done. Otherwise, I think it would have probably been a little too much color. And then while I have my white paint pen out, I'm just going to go in and do the middle of all of the little flowers that are going to go on the little house we have. And I'm just adding some little lines and some little things to add some dimension to all of the little flowers as well. Now that they are all dry, we are going to glue this all together, again using the Gorilla Glue. That way, if I need to do any moving around when I'm putting it in place, I am free to do that. And I am going to use one of my little clamps that I have to hold the top in place while I glue everything else at the bottom because I don't want it to shift. I don't want it to move. And I am actually using a little paintbrush here that you can see to put the glue on the back of the window. The window is so small. I didn't want the glue to leak out and then you to see globs of glue. So I went ahead and just used a paintbrush to put that right on. And while that is all drying, because I don't want any of that to move around when I put the flowers on, I'm going to go ahead and paint the shoes, the hands, and the flower to the little one that I did in pink with the purple polka dots. I'm going to get that all finished while the glue dries on the house. Once the glue is dry on the house as far as the top and the door goes, now I can put the flowers in place. I just didn't want the flowers to bump or move the door or anything like that, so it was a lot easier. Because now, as you can see, I can kind of prop up the little mushroom house to make sure I'm putting everything level and exactly where I want it to be. So I'm just going to glue them down just in a way that I think they look good. No rhyme or reason. You all can put them however you feel they would look best. Next, I'm going to give you a little pro tip here, real quick, for if you go to paint this little set. If it wasn't for this video, this is exactly how I would tape all these down, and I would have them all laid out at the same time. I would have their hair, then the little body, then the little feet, and the little hands. And then what you do is then you just go right in a row and you do all of the hair white, all of the bodies, all of the black little hands, and it helps it stay organized. You don't lose any little pieces, and it helps it go a lot smoother if you're doing a bunch all at the same time with small pieces. For the sake of this video, it worked out better for me to do them individually since I was showing you how I was coordinating them with all the other little pieces. But if you're doing this at home, this is exactly how I set it up if I wasn't making a video. So you can see that there. And then just to finish my little garland banner here, I'm just going to take this string that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put that right in through the little holes, and I'm going to string it to the size that fits my tier tray. So just determine how far apart you want them all to fit your specific tray and put them all in and then tie off the ends. Next, we have all the pieces here to our last little gal here with the pigtail hair and instead of a beard. And I am actually using a glue called Loctite Super Glue. And this is a very fast holding super glue. This is a phenomenal glue. I am using this when I am making signs or things for my shop that I sell in and things of that nature, because once you get something on, it is not going anywhere. You would have to tear something apart pretty much to get it off. So, but it is quick drying. So definitely only use it if you don't think you're going to need to move anything around. And then I wanted the hat on this one to kind of match the little hat that I just showed you. So I'm just going to make a little squiggly line, a straight line, a zigzag line, and I'm just going to kind of decorate this hat a little bit like that. Obviously using my white paint pen again. And now I will show you how these push right into the bases so that way they can stand up. You don't have to worry about propping them up on anything. It is a lot easier if you put the piece down on the ground and then push it in from the top. Once I push that in there, it is not going anywhere. You don't even need to add glue. It is a pretty snug fit, so it's going to work out okay. And then I am going to use this same string that I got from the Dollar Tree. I am going to use the little method of adding some tape to the end to put it through the small holes on the little swing here that we have, and then put a little knot in so that way it won't go anywhere, and do that 4 times so that way it will hold the swing up on your tier tray. And then once we have all 4 pieces in through the swing and knotted at the bottom. Then we are going to pull them up so that way we know that both sides are level, that both sides are equal, and then tie a knot between on both sides of the top of the swing. So you will take the 2 strings from the right hand side, put them together at the top like you see here, and tie a knot. And then you'll take the other 2 from the left-hand side, pull them up to the same point you just did the other one, tie it in a knot. And then that makes it much easier to hang. And voila, you have this adorable set that I just am in love with. I just love the colors. I love how they all came together. I just am really happy with how this turned out. I hope you will jump on over to my website and grab one for yourself. And I would love to see what colors you went with and how it turned out. Make sure you go through all the videos in this playlist and all of the amazing ideas that these other ladies have brought to you with their sets, and go see which one sparks your interest the most and see which one that you just can't live without. So you all enjoy this lovely weather if you are getting the warm weather that we are, and have a great week. Bye.